Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Boss Talk Live. I'm so excited. So excited that everyone's here to join us. My name is Essie Arrington, the CEO of Boss Lady Empire. If you don't know about me, I sell waist trainers, activewear. I sell it all. So definitely go check us out on our website, which is Boss Lady Empire boutique.com. I'm so excited, everybody, to have our special guest in the building today, y'all. When I tell you this is my special guest in the building, her name is Dr. Crystal Iris, y'all. She is an entrepreneur, an author, a life coach, and I'm so excited to let y'all hear her behind the scenes, what she doing, a little bit about herself.
Hey, girl. Thank you. So I am an international psychologist, a life coach, and author, as Miss Essie has so eloquently stated. So as an international psychologist, a lot of the things that I do is to take into consideration the factors that culture plays in business. So companies will hire me or consult with me to make sure that they're doing things that are culturally sensitive and culturally competent in their practices. So that's the kind of doctor that I am. The name of my book is called The Boss Head Breakthrough. It is basically a book about my story and how I've been able to heal from past traumatic events and what I did to kind of get through and have faith in that process. And so that was my way of sharing that story with the world, and that can be found on Amazon.
Hey, y'all heard her. That is the name of her book. If you did not catch it, it's called The Boss Set Breakthrough, guys. Definitely go check her out on Amazon. Go get that copy of that book. I'm so excited about to hear just a little bit about it. I'm pretty sure she's going to tell you a little bit snippet, but she wants you to go out there and get that book. So I know you guys heard her. She told you a little background on what type of doctor she is. May I ask you, what made you go into that profession of being that specific type of doctor?
Good question. Okay, so growing up, actually, I thought I was going to be a medical doctor, and my mom had put me around a bunch of MDs, and so she had them to mentor me. I was on to all of these different camps and things like that. I would work on cadavers, and that stuff really interested me. At some point, I had a mentor that was like, maybe you should get some bedside manners and just see how you like the medical field. It can be different outside of your mentoring program. So I did. I went and got a CNA license, and I found out I can't deal with all of that fluid and stuff. Like I couldn't do it, girl. So I'm really big into affirmation. So from the age of 4, because I knew that I was going to be a medical doctor, I'm married now, but at the time I was Dr. Crystal Iris Ballinger. I am Dr. Crystal Iris Ballinger, like every day. That was what I told myself. And so it literally haunted me until I became a doctor. And I had to figure out what that was going to look like. And so I had gotten really deep into business and things like that. I come from a multicultural background with my family. My grandmother, it's all mixed up. Our family is all mixed up, all different cultures. And I was able to identify that, able to see that there's like culture has behaviors, right? And different customs and traditions. And sometimes that impact the way that people behave. Or interact, and so it's important to be culturally sensitive. The other thing is that I had started a nonprofit organization for girls, and I knew that it was going to be like this global nonprofit organization. And so I wanted to get into it so that I am culturally sensitive and culturally competent when I am operating with different girls. Now, since I have been in my program, that has changed. I no longer have the nonprofit organization, but I do work with women, and I have traveled abroad, and I work with multicultural women, international women. And so it's coming to me in different ways. So that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
That's amazing. Y'all heard her. And also, when we talked last week, you also said that you don't have your nonprofit group, but it's so weird how you say you used to mentor kids and you don't do it anymore, but you did a whole full circle and came back around because now you're a dean at a school. How is
Yeah.
that working out for you, working with, the kids?
So I always say I don't know how I got into it in the first place. It was kind of one of those things where I was interested in purchasing a home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, let me start over, right?
Okay.
So what had happened was I was like on this faith journey, and I was like, you know what? I'm not working for nobody else ever again in my life. And I quit my full-time job and was like, I'm gonna go full force into my nonprofit. I had investments everywhere. I was like, I'm gonna be good. Girl, all hell broke loose. Like everything broke loose. Everything that I thought was gonna be, that was set up pretty nicely, it completely plummeted. Okay. So
Mm.
um of course, when you are, doing business things, money don't come the same every month, especially when you're just starting out. It's
Mm-hmm.
very inconsistent. And with my goal of being a homeowner, I needed to have consistent income.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an opening that was at one of the schools, not the school that I'm at, but the parent school of where I am now.
Okay.
Um, and they needed a step coach. So
A
I
step
studied.
coach. All right.
Yeah, step coach girl. Yeah. So that was my thing all through high school. And one of my mentors was working there. She was like, girl, just come over here, get your consistent income. So that was
Right.
my foot in the door. And then I started working there as a paraprofessional, and I was like, oh, this job is so below me. And that's not, no offense to any paras that are out there,
No.
but that's just how I felt. I felt like I had all of this education. At the time I didn't have my PhD, but I did have my master's. And I was just like, I had already owned my business, and I was like, oh my God, I just can't do this. I need to get out of this. And so then she was like, oh, well, our alternative school has a position open. So that's how I ended up transferring to the alternative school and ended up in that position. And when I first started, I did bring my nonprofit organization there, the
Okay.
program. And so I mentored a lot of the girls there outside of my position. And so the work is still there. I'm
Okay.
still doing the work, but I do not have the nonprofit under my name
Under
anymore.
your name anymore.
Right.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And like you said, sometimes you have to take a step back and reevaluate yourself and know what's more important and what's your goal you trying to achieve. Like you said, you have to be like, okay, look, I got to go for this house. I need a consistent income, and this is what I'm doing. It's not consistent. But my question to you, as far as being an entrepreneur, how do you stay, how do I say, focused, as far as, like you say, you don't always get sales, but how do you stay focused? Say, okay, I got this, and keep pushing and keep going. Even though you don't get a lot of sales, like you said, some days you might not get none, some days you might not see no income. But how do you keep yourself motivated?
Hmm. That is a good question. I think for me, one thing that I've learned and that I teach is developing a code blue team.
Oh,
And so, what the Code Blue team is, having people around you. For me, it's like sisterhood has always been my thing. So, even when I started my nonprofit organization,
mhm.
we needed sisterhood. Like, that was number one priority. And
Okay,
so, that's just something that's deeply in my heart. And so, wherever I go, I'm really good at attracting community to me.
okay,
And so I've developed basically a network of women that support me and where my goals are.
okay,
So sometimes women tend to say like it's not a lot of support for women or black women, and I've
mhm,
just never seen that. I've always had support from black women, and
okay,
I've always had that sisterhood. Um so that's what I did. I have a person that when I feel like I'm at ground zero and I need somebody to talk to me, I have somebody. If I need a humor pickup, I have somebody to
yeah.
talk to me. So really just surrounding myself around people that's willing to help and support me throughout my journey.
So
They each have a tool, and we
right.
all
So
break these
basically, you
barriers
need that
together.
go-to person. You need that one or two people that's gonna push you, even when you don't feel like you have no more in you to go. Just have that one person in your ear, like you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Because I have
Yeah,
that,
well,
you know.
sometimes. So here's my thing. I have more than one person. And I
Okay.
think it's important to have more than one person because I believe that everybody has a gift and a purpose. And so
Hmm.
the people that you surround yourself with are going to be people that have a tool. And so that's why. So if for example, I mentioned before this call that I'm on a weight loss journey. And the
Hmm.
best thing that this program has is accountability. So I have an accountability coach. I have my fit fam. I got the people that's in the struggle with me. I
Okay.
got the care coach. I got the person that's like, hey, hurry up and get it together. You can't eat right. Let's choose this differently. And so
Mm.
everybody has a gift and they have something a little bit different to offer you to help you to break through the barrier. So when I think about my Code Blue team and what's important, and this is for anything in my life, whether it's relationships or whatever, I
Right.
have people that I can kind of tap into and say, I need you.
I like that name, Cold Blue, man down type of thing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like when you feel like you're at ground zero, you got to be able to call somebody. Like your job is to call somebody. Don't think that you
Yeah.
can do it all by yourself. And also a part of my Code Blue team is having therapists.
Oh, we spoke
you
on that.
know,
Yes, speak on that.
Yeah, you gotta have a therapist. Knowing who and what you need. So if you got a medical condition, there's a team that supports that medical condition. You got your
Right.
primary care, you got your specialist. You have family to support you. So
Right.
I think it's something that we do. It's just something that we don't realize that we have.
Hmm. So basically, I feel like where you're coming from, even the strongest person needs someone to be able to lean on. You know
Oh
how that
yeah.
saying say, check on your strong friends too.
Mhm.
I
Yes.
definitely like that. I definitely. So y'all hear it. We always speak on having a couple of people. Like I said, have your village. It's okay to have a village around you, someone that you can confine into, someone you can just reach out to and just tell, hey, today's been a bad day. Let me just
Mhm.
pour out my bad day to you. Can you just listen?
Right.
Sometimes you need that listening ear. Sometimes you need that motivator. Sometimes you need that
Mhm.
person that says, girl, I ain't trying to hear. Get your butt up and get on your journey.
Exactly.
You need that
Exactly.
strong friend, right? Everybody needs that strong, honest friend, but at the same time, you need that passionate friend that's gonna be there just to hold you and pat you on your back, right? So I
Mhm.
feel that you need that village, and like you said, a lot of Black communities and just a lot of women in general said they don't have that. I
Yeah.
hear that a lot. We don't have that
Mhm.
support group no more. But what I caught what you said is you're on a fitness journey, and everybody that's on the fitness journey in your class with you, you rely on. Y'all in it together. So
Girl,
guys,
yes.
look
I
at
feel like
what
we
you're
die every
doing.
day.
Yeah. So just think, whoever's watching this live, you say you don't have no supportive friends, you don't have supportive family. Whatever you're doing, you're gonna have somebody. If it's a fitness journey, if it's entrepreneuring, anything you do, go on Facebook and find that group. It's so many groups out there that you can join. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That you can just have that motivation and coach to coach you through things.
Mhm. And I think it's important too for people to be real about the people that's around them because there are people that are energy suckers, you
Oh,
know.
you better speak on that.
Yeah, girl. Yeah, it's a lot of energy suckers out here. Like they zap your energy. They don't fuel you at all.
At
And so
all.
those are the type of people that you gotta break up with.
Oh,
Yeah.
speak on that, please. Break up with. Because there's some out there that you'll get on that phone call. You could be having the best day in the world, and you take that phone call. You like, Lord, why did I answer this phone? They will
Yeah.
suck the life out of you. And it sometimes don't even have nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
But
And
their
sometimes
energy will come on to you.
sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's family, and a lot of times we have these strongholds on people. We loyal as a culture, like we're pretty loyal. And we like to keep the same people around us. And so it becomes like a habit to speak to people or
Okay.
to communicate with people or to interact with them. But at
Mhm.
some point, you got to be real with yourself and understand that everybody is not for you, but
Okay.
they come because you got something that they need. And so if somebody's constantly
Mm.
coming to you because they need something, then they're constantly taking from you. So who at what point is giving you something back?
Girl, you
If
better
they
see it.
taking stuff from you, nah, babe. We
Right.
got
Hold
to
on one second. We got people saying, well, one person saying they can't hear us. I don't know why they can't hear.
what?
Can y'all? Is it the sound y'all can't hear? Babe, hold on, y'all. Can you hear us? You can hear us. Okay. So, huh? Okay, we sound fine with her because I'm like somebody's on here saying we can't hear
Yeah,
you.
I can hear my husband playing my voice in the other room. I'm like,
Okay, good. So we good. But what I do love, I'm sorry, y'all. We just want to make sure you can hear us. Is that you spoke on how you need to break up with those people, right? And that it's hard sometimes to break up with them because you love them. You feel obligated to them. You feel like if I break up with them, if I cut them off, I'm gonna hurt their feelings. I don't
yes,
want them to feel some type of way. But sometimes you got to put yourself first and be like, if they're draining my energy and I'm not having a good day every time I talk to them, and every time I tell them something good about me, is no energy, good energy coming back. It's just dry. It's either dry when you tell them good news, or either they get quiet when you tell them
yeah,
good news, or they turn it around into something negative or make it about them.
right, yeah.
So I like that what you said. Energy, what you call them? Zappers? What you call them?
So there's different ways to put it. There's energy vampires, energy suckers, energy zappers. Yeah.
So all that and more, huh?
All love it, girl.
Yes. So y'all, I do want to touch on also. She do have something she do have going on, and I just want to speak on this. We talked about it last week, this week we talked about it. Me and her on the phone. It's called "Break Your Own Barriers," y'all. And when I tell y'all, I want y'all to hear what she have to say about this, because when I tell you, when she told me about it, it's like, girl, you better talk about this on Boss Talk Live. You better not hold back. And I also want her just to talk about her journey and her walk with faith. I know she talked about that with me, and she was asking me, was it okay if she share it? And I told her, girl, speak your truth. Because when you're on Boss Talk Live, y'all, I don't want nobody feel like that they have to hold anything in when it comes to religion or anything. It's your truth, it's what you believe in, and it's your journey and your story. So tell us a little bit about the breaking your own barriers. What is that about?
So break your own barriers. Where do I start with that? That's like my favorite. It's my favorite program that I've created yet. And the reason why is because I also call myself like a dating fanatic. I love
Oh,
relationships and
okay.
I love dating. I love love. And I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to talk about like my whole love story and stuff like that, but um I use the metaphor of like a breakup to have
Okay.
what's called a breakup party. So whenever we do a coaching call, so wait, let me back up.
Okay.
BYOB is stands for Break Your Own Barriers, and it's a 12-week program that offers support and coaching and resources and tools to help women to break their own barriers using their purpose as a platform, and that can be personally or professionally. So what I do is use a metaphor of breaking up. So if you think
Okay.
about relationships, a romantic relationship, I feel like that's been the space where I have learned the most lessons in life and about myself.
Okay.
So that's why I call myself like, a breakup coach or whatever. um and the interesting part about it, I use breakup. So if you think about a romantic relationship, it's lovey-dovey, it's supportive, it's passionate, you love
Yes.
it, it feels good. And then something happens in the midst of it, and it's like you have to make a decision. Am I gonna break up with this person hurt me, whatever the case is? Sometimes people stay in those relationships way too long.
Okay.
This program is helping you to break up with the things that don't serve you. If you think about like a romantic relationship, the break is gonna hurt, but if you can envision what the upside is going to look like, what you're
Okay.
going to learn from the relationship, what did you not like, what did you like about the relationship? What did you learn about yourself in the process? Who you can become when you release this thing or this person, then that's the ultimate space that you need to be in. So the program offers all support. It has, I partner with different therapists. I have spiritual coaches that are with us. I have people that are ministers that are in the program, who pray over our group and things like that. And then of course it's a cohort format. So it's sisterhood all day. And so we have coaching calls and I just speak to them. We talk about different lessons. We do 6 perspectives of life, which encompasses relationships and finances and wellness and spirituality and career and I think I said relationships already like a million times, but there's 6 perspectives of life and we go through each of those within the 12 weeks
Okay.
and we offer support. Sometimes it gets real tough.
Right.
And so when it gets real tough, who do you need to talk to? Do you need to talk to your accountability partner? You need to talk to the spiritual person. You need to talk to the therapist that we got on staff. Like, what is it that you need? And so that really helps people to make a difference and make it to their upside.
That makes a lot of sense. So is it just basically for people that's going through a breakup for us relationships or just a breakup in general with any type of relationship? Like, could it be like a breakup from family members? Can it be a breakup from boyfriend, girlfriend? Just a breakup period you help them with all
It's
over the
breakups,
board?
period. Because breaking up with your trauma, breaking up with because I just use relationships as a metaphor because even when we experience traumatic experiences, um you build a relationship with that trauma. Like that
Okay.
becomes your story, like you own that. And then sometimes we kind of carry that
Mm,
with us. And
yes, you
so it's
do.
not always a good thing to carry that with you, especially if you're still in it and you're just kind of living life or floating through life without really
Healing.
handling your business and like confronting the situation. So what we do is confront the situation and offer tools to break up with it so that you can meet your true potential on the upside.
Okay. So you're basically saying you help them heal because
Yeah.
sometimes people hop from one bad relationship into another bad relationship into another bad relationship. And do you think that stems from you are not fully healed from the last relationship? So you're hopping to relationship and you're bringing that baggage on with you?
I think it could be a few things because there are some people that refuse to be in relationships because of trauma. You know,
Wow.
like yeah, I speak to a lot of women who are just really frustrated with the dating process and relationships, and it could be a number of things. So I don't just because a person goes from relationship to relationship, it doesn't mean that they have not healed.
Okay.
Um, because I'll be honest, I was a person that kind of jumped from relationship to relationship, and the reason why is because I didn't have to settle. I didn't have to
That's
settle.
a good
And
one.
so whenever I went into relationships, I had an expectation. Like we have a conversation, we get to know each other, and we set boundaries. When boundaries are crossed,
Yes.
baby, what do you want me to do? Like I've always been the person that don't stay in situations very long. If we can't work it out, I'm not going to waste my time. So
Oh, you know what? That's
so
good.
that's
You
kind of
set
been
your
my thing.
boundaries at the beginning. You
Mhm.
don't give that person chance after chance after chance to keep breaking your boundary. You like, look,
Why?
this is
Why?
what we
Because
do.
if I keep allowing it, then I'm hurting myself. Like I am a partner in you hurting me. Mm-mm. No, I did that already. We're not doing that again.
So you learn from your last relationship before you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is good. So, what about women or men? So, for example, let me ask you a woman or man who's been in a relationship, let's say for a long period of time, and they feel like, well, I've been in it so long, I don't want nothing else. It's nothing else out there for me. And they just stick with it. Stick with being walked on, being in an abusive relationship, being, abusive is a big thing in our society now, and just being stuck but afraid to leave because they put too much in the relationship. I put all these years into this, and I don't want nobody else to come in and get what I have. What do you say to those people?
I don't say anything to those people.
Around.
The reason, okay, so here's the thing. Some people are in those situations and they don't want help. I'm not the person that goes to them and try to force my opinions or thoughts on them. Now, if they come to me and they want the truth, I will tell them the truth about a thing, or I will coach them through it. So, I think you're familiar with coaching, right? Aren't you a coach?
No, I'm not a coach.
No, oh, okay, my bad, girl. So in coaching, you assume that the person has their own information, that they have their own answers. So you would ask questions to pull that information out of them. And so some of my coaching might look like, well, what does this person do for you? Like, are you in a happy situation? If you're not happy, what's the boundary that's preventing you from being happy? And so it kind of leads into that. So if a person, if this relationship is a barrier for you to become this person that you desire and that you feel like you're destined to be, then what is it that we need to do about this situation? And oftentimes they will be the ones that say, I got to let them go. But then there's other people who will beat around the bush.
Right.
And because they don't want to admit that part. But a lot of times people know that it's not a healthy situation. But that's not my job to try to convince them otherwise.
Right. It's not. But you're there to help them and to lead them. And to be, like I say, you're there to coach them. And be honest with them, right?
Yes, I believe that everybody has their own journey, and that there are things that our soul have to learn within this dimension. Like, this is an experience for us.
Okay.
And sometimes in those relationships, you're learning different things about a person or about yourself. And if you feel like it's not time for you to leave, then maybe it's not time for you to leave. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, I just want people. How do I put this? Because it can get complicated. I don't want to make it sound like I'm okay with women being abused, because I'm not. I will encourage anybody to leave a toxic relationship. But what I'm saying is that I believe that everybody has their own journey, and they will leave when it's time. It's just like a domestic violence situation. Oftentimes you can tell somebody a million times, that's not healthy for you. You need to get out. Like, what is it that I need to do to support you and do this and do that? And a lot of times people will make the escape and then end up with the same person 2 weeks later. If they're not ready to make that leave yet. And that's a lot of trauma that happens just because they leave. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I think sometimes there's a lot of judgment when people stay in toxic relationships. But you don't know what the person's circumstances are or what their mindset is exactly. So I just think it's a lot that goes into it. All I do is offer the support, the environment, to say, what do we need to do? And are you ready?
Yeah, because only they know when they're ready.
Yeah.
Because like you said, you can't force no one to leave their mate. They have to know when they had enough and when they're ready to make that step and to say, hey, I'm ready. I need help. I need therapy. What do I need to do? So like you said, that makes a lot of sense. I agree.
There's a lot of things, like with women and their abusers. It's like, it's comfortable to stay in an environment that's familiar. Like, trauma can be familiar to people, and so they know that if I do this, that's going to trigger this person, so maybe I won't do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of being comfortable, like what's going to happen. But if you take somebody that's been in that environment for, let's say, 10 years, and they've been conditioned to believe
Okay.
all of that, all of those things, and to live
Right.
that on a daily basis, to take them out of that environment to a space that they don't know, it's like a
Right.
newborn. Like, they got to learn
Yeah,
everything that they didn't know.
they
They have
do.
to learn how to take care of their money, how to support themselves, how to be
See, I
independent.
didn't think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think people just have to be more mindful of when you are trying to encourage someone to get out of a situation.
Especially when they've been in it for so long.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That makes
Yeah.
so much sense. I never thought about it like that. Like when you said they have to learn to do everything on their own again, to live on their own, to be alone, and different things like that. That can be trauma as well, on top of trauma that they're already dealing with.
Yeah.
And some people don't know how to handle that. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, and a lot of people don't know how to reach out for help either.
Right.
So
Yep.
that can be a big part too. Sometimes it's hard nowadays for people just to say, okay, I need help me,
Mm-hmm.
because they feel like they look weak. And I feel like you shouldn't have to look weak to ask for help, because everybody needs help.
Exactly. Yep.
Everybody needs help. Everybody gets tired. Everybody just need that one person just to say, okay, I'll take the lead. You lay back for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like that. Also, tell us your faith journey. How does your faith evolve around all this? I know we talked a little bit about that over the phone. Give us a little behind on that.
Mm. I think it I think for me, I became like way more sensitive and intuitive after my traumatic experiences. So I'll share, I don't know where we at on time, but I'll share fairly
You have
quickly.
time.
Okay. So when I was 19 years old, I was away at school, and my boyfriend at the time raped me.
I'm
And so
sorry.
thank you.
So sorry. I'm
It's
so
okay.
sorry.
So I had that situation happen to me, and I had to I went into like a real deep depression. So remember I told you I wanted to be a medical doctor? Like,
Yes.
academics was always A1 for me. And at that time, all of my grades and everything started to fail, and I really felt like a failure. And so I was like, I gotta go home. So I went back home, didn't tell my parents or anything what happened to me. Kind of was still in denial about what it was, because that was a relationship. It was like, did that happen? Can I say that that's what it was? Just
Right.
trying to identify if that really what it was. But absolutely, it really was. And so, excuse me. Um, that just threw me off. Sorry, I wasn't expecting.
No, you're fine.
So once that happened, once that took place, I came home. I wasn't like in a depression, didn't say much to my parents, but they were like just trying to nurture me and, see what was going on. And I started praying. I was like, Lord, look, like, I've always been a really good student. I've always been a good kid. Why? Like, what was the purpose? What was the reason for this? Because clearly it can't be in vain. And at that time, that's when I had like this vision. To me, it was a divine vision. I went to sleep, and in my sleep, I saw girls and women coming to me, and they had been kind of rugged and rough and clearly had gone through some type of traumatic experiences. So they would come to me presenting that way, and it was like a car wash. So whenever they came to me and went through me, it was like they were renewed, restored.
Wow.
They were like brand new people. And not only that, but they were able to reach back and help other people who were like them, that can identify with their story. And so it became like this whole sisterhood thing, right? And
Right.
so it was like, well, okay, so what am I supposed to do with that? 10 minutes later, after I'm waking up, my sister runs in the house and was like, Crystal, my friends out here having sex, and they doing stuff that they ain't supposed to be doing. Now, mind you, she was like in the 5th or 6th grade at this time. She's like, they doing stuff they ain't supposed to be doing. We need to start a girls group, and you got to do it. I was like, who?
Right, where this come from?
So I had just had the vision. My sister comes back with the confirmation, and I was like, surrender. Let me go ahead and surrender to this. So let me see what I have to do. So that's how my nonprofit started. And that's what kind of put me on my faith journey and identifying like, oh wow, there really is a purpose to this. And
Okay.
there's a reason why these experiences happen to me so that people can identify with my story and I help them through it. So
Mm-hmm.
so that so yeah, the hey girl happened, and then the boss at academy happened, and now we're at BYOB, break your own barriers. And in that process, in my healing, a lot of the girls, for a long time I still didn't, for 4 years I didn't say what was going on, but within those 4 years it would be so many girls that came to me, and even they mamas started coming to me and would talk about real life stuff.
Right.
Real life stuff. And I had to have those types of conversations with them, but it took a while for me to come out and just say like, okay, this was my experience. Like for me to kind of confront it, I was just kind of like going through the motions but not really saying what happened and where this all came about. um it was through me doing Reiki. For those who may not be familiar with Reiki, Reiki is an alternative healing practice, and it cuts through time and distance. So we believe that the universal life force energy, or God's love, comes in through the crown of the head and out through the hands. And we shift energy within the body to eliminate any blockages within the chakras, any past things, anything that could potentially happen in the future, and we just kind of shift energy around. And it also helps to like de-stress people, and it's a beautiful practice. So I had gotten into that, and that really allowed me to be really really close, and I like to say intimate with God, you know, where I really felt for the first time like that was like, okay, God, it's me and you. Like, we can have this conversation. Like, I'm hearing you very clearly. I can feel you very clearly. What are
Wow.
my directions? What are my instructions? And how are we moving together? And so that was really the bulk of my faith journey. Yeah.
That is girl. That is so amazing. It's crazy how, they say God bring you through the storms, right? Everybody goes through the storm, but the storm doesn't last forever, right? It's like he brings you through that to either teach you something or for you to learn from it, and then for you to teach somebody else
Yeah.
that's been through it.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be famous. Everyone wants to be successful in life. Everyone wants the money fast, right? But he's not going to give you fast anything. He has to take you through every step, through the storms, the
Mm-hmm.
thunderstorms, the everything, the sickness,
Yeah.
everything. Because when you get to the top, you have to have a story, right? You have to have a story so you can be relatable to a lot of people, so you can touch a lot of people's lives. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the purpose of all of us going through that storm. Sometimes we do ask like, Lord, now why did you do that today? I was having such a
Mm-hmm.
good day. But once you sit back and you think about it, every storm you go through, it's a teachable moment.
Absolutely. And that's the part with that I'm passionate about, because it's in your story that you identify your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can identify your purpose and then create a platform from that purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
so you mentioned how like when you feel like you're successful or when you make it, everybody has to have a story, but
Mm-hmm.
the story continues even when you get there. Like
They
you said, every experience that you have is a teachable moment. It don't have to be a bad thing.
nope.
Sometimes really good things happen and it feels like hell at the same time.
It does. It does.
So a perfect example, my husband and I had gotten married in 2020. So I had so many good, amazing blessings that was going on. I was preparing for the wedding. We had besides COVID, but yeah, whatever. So
Right.
we were preparing for the wedding. We had I was graduating or preparing to graduate my PhD. We were looking for a home. I had all of these beautiful blessings, like huge major blessings and milestones happening all at the same time. And although I was really, really excited, I was also very, very overwhelmed because what does
Okay.
this mean for my identity? You know, because
Oh,
now I'm married, my name is about to change, and I've been speaking Crystal Iris Ballinger, not Dr. Crystal Davis, you know. So
right.
that whole thing and moving, it was just a lot that was going on internally that I was like, okay, God, I know I prayed for this, I see it manifesting, but hold on, like like keep it coming, but keep me sane at the same time. And
Yeah,
even that was a lesson, you know, even that was a lesson. And it wasn't a bad thing, it was all blessings,
all
you
blessings.
know, all blessings.
This is what you pray for. You know, when you
Yeah.
pray for things, I always tell people, be prepared for it to happen. No
Okay,
matter if it's
listen.
bad, if it's good, he gonna pour it on you like this. Bow, bow, bow.
Yep.
You gonna say, well, this is what you asked for, right?
Mhm.
This is what you
Mhm.
want. So you should, that's why I
Right.
say don't pray for nothing that you're not ready for. You can pray all day long. I want this, Lord, I want this. And then we give it to you. Some of us don't even know what to do
Can
with it.
you handle it? Right. Can
You
you
handle it.
handle
Some of us
it?
be like, Lord, I wasn't ready for this.
Right. Yep.
So you gotta be prepared for everything you pray for. And sometimes we pray for things and he's not gonna give it to us because he know we're not ready.
Right.
He know we're not
Right.
ready. It's not the fact that he's saying never, I'm not giving it to you. It's the fact he's saying, wait a little while. It's not your time yet. I'm still teaching you. You're still going through the motions. And then when you're ready, I'm gonna give it to you.
Right. Yep. Yep.
So it's all about being ready. And I love your story. You was blessing, 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 blessing. You like, hold on, Lord, you pouring in too fast on me.
Girl, it was amazing. It was amazing. But I also had a lot of internal things, you know, that was just like, oh,
Yeah.
who am I going to be? You know, I have to be a wife. Like, am I going to be a good wife? Am I going to be a not so good wife? You know, like it was
Yeah, a
just
lot
a
of
lot.
questions.
It was a lot that was going on with me internally. My husband and people around me would never know what I was thinking and what I was feeling. I'm in
Yeah.
a very good space now. And actually I had to go to therapy. Like I started therapy because of all of the blessings.
Really? So it's
Trying
okay
to
to have
balance
therapy.
my blessings, girl. Yes. That's when I was like, well, I had a therapist before to help me through like my trauma and stuff. But I needed another therapist to help me balance my blessings. Yeah.
Wow. That is good that you're telling people that it's okay to go speak to a therapist even when life is going good. Because sometimes it
Yeah.
still can be hard even when life is good. You still
Hmm.
need that outlet, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
Yeah.
good because you only hear about going to a therapist when life is bad. Oh,
Right.
I'm struggling. Oh, I got depression. Or I'm going through something. You never hear nobody say, oh, I got a therapist. My life good, but I still go to him or her.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
That is so amazing to hear that. I'm so glad that you were able to share so many ins and out of your journey. Tell us about your faith. I love how you explained it so well, what you did and how you became closer to God. I love it. Success
Yeah.
can be stressful. Yes. So Siobhan said, God is good. Someone said, praise God. And someone said, success can be stressful.
It can. It can. It feels good. It feels good. But if you don't even, you know, and I always compare this to like celebrities, like my husband. I think you mentioned that our husbands know each other.
Yes.
And so like my husband is into, you know, film industry and he's been pitching away and you know, he has had some major success. But we're looking for that next level. And
Yeah.
I'm like, so sometimes he get little bumps in the road, you know, that come up and I'm
Right.
like, you got to know how to handle these situations.
Yeah.
Everybody not going to like your content and that's okay. So when they say things, what are you going to do? Because when you get to that level of success, baby, they can hit hard. Kevin
Ooh.
Hart, Will Smith, Rick Rock, Chris Rock, like people get hit hard at high levels of success. Like the journey don't stop. You got to
No.
build your muscle and your tools and be ready to fight at any moment.
Woo! You is the girl. You
You got
are
to be
right.
ready to break your barriers because they keep coming.
They keep coming, right? It don't stop when you get successful.
Right.
No matter how successful you is, the barriers keep coming. You got to still break
Yeah.
down the doors. And I've learned that on my journey of being an entrepreneur. I was a teacher, a special education teacher for like 8 years, and I went into owning my own business this past year and a half. And I noticed every month, every day, it's a different thing. I'm learning as I go, and every day it's a different barrier I got to break down.
Yep.
A different material I got to learn how to do. Different content I got to put out. I'm tired, but I got to keep going. And when things get tossed to me, like you said, I got to know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
What's my next move? Okay, this happened over here, but what is my next move to get out of this? How do I get from here to there?
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you. You just said Chris Rock get hit hard. Somebody said.
Who said that, Jay?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like him.
Is that your husband?
Yes, girl. Yeah, you didn't even have that. I'm like, that sounds like my husband. Yeah.
She didn't mean it that way. She just said everybody got barriers. Well, this has been amazing. I love everything you share with me. I love your journey. I love your faith. You got to teach me a little bit more about that, But
yeah,
I love everything about what you said. And you know what? Before we get off this line, tell everybody where they can find you at, where they can, look you up at, where they can go follow you at if they want to take your classes. Tell us.
Yeah, so I am Dr. Crystal Iris everywhere. So that's Facebook, Instagram. I got Snapchat, but I don't really know how to use it. So don't follow me on there. But Instagram is really the best way to contact me. Yeah. Instagram or Facebook. My website is iamdrcrystaliris.com. But it is under reconstruction. And of course, you can buy my book, The Boss That Breakthrough, on Amazon. Right now it's just the digital copies. And I'll be doing a new release soon for a new edition. So right now you can just get the digital copy on Amazon.
Okay. And are you going to be doing a new release in Chicago?
I am. I'm going to talk to my husband because we have projects. Like I work with his brand as well. I'm the vice president. So, we got to be in their business too. So,
girl, be all up in it.
Just like your husband is your producer, girl. Okay, so.
Yeah, girl, he's my producer, right. He's my manager, my photographer, he's my counselor, it all. He's
right. So we all up in there. So we got a few projects that we're working on right now. So just trying to, we kind of go back and forth. Like he'll do something and I'll do something. Sometimes we do a lot of things that are like a combination of both of our brands that's geared towards more relationships and business. So we're kind of working on some things right now. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm so excited. I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on your journey. I will be getting that book, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and download that book off Amazon so I can give y'all some juicy details about what I think of the book. So make sure you guys go get that book. Thank you so much, Dr. Crystal, for being a part of Boss Talk Live today. We appreciate you so much. And y'all make sure y'all stay tuned because I'm going to be on her show real soon, okay?
Yes,
asked me to be a part of her podcast, so stay tuned for that. And again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you guys next Sunday.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.